to make you mine, yeah, yeah. I'm trying to make you mine, trying to make you mine, trying to make you mine, trying to make, yeah. I'm trying to make you mine.
What's good, y'all? This is your boy Dream Big back here again with my boy J Red.
R to the 3D. What's
good?
up? Follow me on social media at JAYR3D. Always a pleasure being with this young man right here to talk about some hip hop discussion, hip hop debates. Let's get it. I'm ready.
All right,
Joe Budden and academics. I'm coming for you. Believe that.
to take over real quick.
Oh yeah.
Taking over Everyday Struggle. And if you just joined us, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you like this video. Share it with about 10 of your hip hop friends, because it's gonna go down.
Oh yeah.
All right. So let's get it. So right now we're gonna talk about something very important. We're gonna discuss artists that are politically conscious in the industry, for the culture, and people that are really good, have a really good, strong message, and you can actually learn things, and how I feel that further the society and what I would want kids and younger people to be listening to, rather than the typical rap, typical sex, drugs, murder rap that a lot of artists are generically doing over and over and over.
All
Is
right.
it mine?
Yeah. First, right now, I think the biggest album that's out right now, as far as listen to, like the message and political awareness and things of that nature. You have Jay-Z's 444.
It's a big one.
Especially for black people.
That's a big one right there.
Not against any other races, but you know, we created hip hop.
Yeah.
So hip hop is the #1 genre in America. They just admitted to it now, but it's been like that since its creation. And with that album, he's talking a lot about financial issues, what we need to do to move forward as far as the economics. And he's giving you details on being a damn near 50-year-old man, about, you know, like I said, about financial situations and what's going on in his life. I feel like he's the perfect example of someone who is moving the culture forward. Another person you will probably want to listen to, of course, you got Kendrick Lamar. Pretty much all of his albums have some type of message in it, political message as well, especially To Pimp a Butterfly. That's his sophomore LP. Then you have J. Cole. J. Cole always has a message and things of that nature.
For your eyes only.
For your eyes only. Also, Rhapsody just dropped an album. I haven't got a chance to listen to that, but songs that I did hear, she usually has a message. She was featured that the first time I heard about Rhapsody was on Kendrick Lamar's To Pimp a Butterfly.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So those are some of the artists that I can point out right now, to where if you have Apple Music and you have Spotify, whatever, go listen to those albums. And
Off the top of my head, that dropped this year that we didn't mention, definitely Logic. Logic has his album is a little different though, but it's still conscious politically. It's talking about like suicide, and he's white, growing up black. He's white and black, and just
he's mixed.
Yeah, he's mixed.
Oh, for real? I didn't know that.
His whole album was just talking about, like, you know, hanging out with his white friends and them talking bad about this other half of him, talking bad about, you know, the colored side.
Yeah.
And it's just an interesting album. You know, a lot of critics or like hip hop fans, you know, have mixed feelings about that album, but I do think it's a decent album to go listen to. And I definitely think it's very conscious, and definitely give that a listen as well.
This whole time I've been thinking Logic is like white.
No,
maybe I just never seen like him.
No, he's definitely the fairest, like more light skinned, but he's mixed.
Yeah. Well, you have people like Logic, like he just said, and it's to the MCs that are out there who are afraid to rap about political things or politics or whatever like that, or liberation, black liberation. Don't be afraid. We have what you call the internet, and you don't have to be afraid to express yourself. Yeah. Because you'll be surprised. Like, shout out to WeBuyBlack.com. I have a freestyle that I did supporting black-owned businesses, black banks, black people in general, that they actually posted, and it's getting thousands of views. So that's an example of how you can use the internet and your platform to actually reach out to people. And your voice needs to be heard, and it wants to be heard. You never know what person it could actually reach. Don't try to go for the big fish all the time when it looks like the mainstream, you know what I'm saying, like that. Like, the little fish should actually be the big fish in the long run. And if your people got you and support you, then that's all you actually need. That's why David Banner's on the stuff he's on right now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's very vital, because that's what hip hop was based off of. It was having a good time, but it also was about awareness about what's going on. You know, ever since we can go to NWA Fuck the Police, and then we can go into just different things like now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I believe if Kendrick dropped To Pimp a Butterfly now, it would be more appreciated than it was back then.
I think it's really important that artists start to talk about this and their music, and we have a couple artists, we have a couple mainstream artists that talk about it, but we need more. We need more of the mainstream artists to feel more comfortable, like J-Ray was saying, to don't be afraid to, you know, step out your box. And, you know, we know that we know there's a formula that the labels and things want you to stick by, as far as they at least want to hear that single or whatever on your album for you to let it go. But I also feel like as an artist, you still should have that responsibility, especially as a black man or female, that have to deal with certain things. And you already know the type of things you have to go through just to get things done, rather than somebody like a Justin Bieber or something that, you know, things are a lot easier for them to get things done, to get on Ellen and things like that. Some people don't want to be necessarily famous, but you still want your music, your craft to be heard by everybody, by everyone. So I definitely think that's an important thing to do, and it's important to further the culture, because a lot of people, they don't really go searching for information. Like, a lot of people want their information like fast food on Facebook or whatever. So, and you have the younger crowd's attention, because everybody for the most part listens to music. It doesn't have to be rap or whatever, but everybody for the most part listens to music. So if you can put some knowledge or drop a little bit of something to pique somebody's interest in your music, you know, that might make somebody like, ooh, damn, I never heard about that. Let me go look that up.
Music is one of the greatest forms of expression for the youth. Yeah. Music has always been, but hip hop always reaches or has reached the youth. And with that, it's because of when you hear somebody speak to you, that means that it's direct and it can actually hit you versus them singing. Yeah. You know, singing is to mellow you out, to make you feel. It's kind of hard to put a message in singing besides love songs. I think Marvin Gaye was able to do with What's Going On and things like that, but hip hop is straight in your face, it's direct, it's powerful, and it's very important that we as artists take our responsibility to speak about things that affect us. Because the thing is, if, you know, the things with Donald Trump going on and all this racism in America that's going on, if we continue to rap about perp, Molly, pills, and things like that, that's a distraction for the youth, because they're going to be like, okay, well, I know all this shit is going on and stressed out, I'm just going to listen to this and just be on my drugs and stuff, instead of being aware and knowing what the hell it is. What can we do if 60% of rap right now put a message into what needs to be said right now in these songs, like, we would have everybody be, because you see what Jay-Z did.
But shoot, if any time y'all need to talk about it, this is the time.
It's the time.
Donald Trump, like, that's enough said. Like, this is not a good time right now.
It isn't. It isn't. This is the worst. Well, no, I'm not even gonna say the worst. It's just the most direct racism that our generation has had ever. Because if you're born in like the 80s, late 80s, 90s, or whatever like that, if you grew up in the 90s and the early 2000s, what's the biggest thing that happened as far as racism?
George Bush.
But it wasn't no killings of unarmed black men. Maybe it was, but it just wasn't publicized like that.
Before this, George Bush was the worst we had.
Yeah.
George Bush looking, I wish he was president right now. I want him to come back. That's how bad it is.
Yeah, it's very bad. You be like, okay, I'd rather choose this evil ass nigga over this evil dude. Right. But it's terrible, and like I said, it's our responsibility to actually talk about something because hip hop has that voice. You know what I'm saying? If you don't get it from hip hop, it ain't right. You know, like I said, hip hop is the #1 genre of music in the world. And like I said, it always has been. But the best way for the youth to express themselves, I feel like, is hip hop. Yeah, you can have marches and things like that, which are vital. But I feel like we could change a lot of things going on if a lot of us stepped up and actually had some type of social commentary in our records to actually reach that youth, because they'll listen. You have a lot of followers, you know what I'm saying? Like, and if you set the standard, that's why I appreciate somebody like a Jay-Z who will say, fuck it, deaf to auto-tune, everybody gonna follow it. May not be full time, but it's gonna be for that time. When Jay-Z speaks and says, look, we're gonna change this about the culture, then you gonna follow that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like if the cool kid in high school says, you know what, I'm gonna rock this pink hair. And I bet you all y'all motherfuckers gonna do the same thing if I do it. Or I'm gonna wear my hat like this. They gonna look like, oh, okay, well, shit. Hey, Chris did it. Let me, it's gonna be cool. So it's up to us to set that standard, set the trend. Fuck these label heads, record execs, all that stuff. Like, they don't have control. Let me tell y'all something. They do not have control of hip hop. They don't. They think that they do. But if, like the next few rappers who come out and have a buzz and just be like, you know what, fuck that, I'm not signing to you. They have no choice. They're at their limbs right now trying to find, you know what I'm saying? Like the girl, the how, what's it?
Catch Me Outside.
Catch Me Outside, girl, she has a deal right now. That shows that they're only focused on, what's the word I'm looking for right now? I guess what I'm saying is they're focused on a character rather than the actual music. It used to be about the music, but now it's just about,
Yeah, who they can make money off of. So,
the controversy surrounding the person.
Yeah. It's basically what we're saying. They care about popularity, essentially. They just want somebody popular so they don't have to spend big bucks to market that person.
Because they don't have the big bucks anymore. Because if they put in, nowadays with the streaming and everything like that, man, the record labels, anytime they put out if they put out a platinum album, that's $10 million that goes to the record company, right? When's the last time you heard of an artist really going like platinum? I'm not talking about like with the streams and all that shit. It got so bad to where they have to calculate the streams and all kind of video plays and that shit to equate to record sales. That's sad.
Yeah, trying to make you mine, yeah. I'm trying to make you mine, trying to make you mine, trying to make you mine, trying to make, yeah. I'm trying to make you mine. Baby girl, yeah, you're so damn fine. Every time you walk past